Yes, wabare kuba baguriya kintu cyagirigide akarekana nyine kire cyo kubanza cyagire nyine omukwezi kuno kwa Musanju finance y'isaka tukutuko akanda bwa kirukine tekanisa baregyo tugitandikire nenya kukana kwa tuyine abagenyi abaryo bajya kutweteranizaho kuruga World Food Program hamo na Kabaro Research and Resources Center ako kutezire ntubarangira then hamutogwesa hali tujya kuba ntujyana umuzano gompira gwa World Cup na bocho kiriza akarekana kegire nyine yes abakuru bawe mbasembera then nitwentekanisa tugitandikire tuti nabagenyi tandiko ibintu byo kuriya ibiri mu buryomo kubakurungi kandi nkugambire nenkwataniza etaliye mudemo ya office ya Prime Minister then na United Nations High Commission for Refugees nkugambire ebokibagire nkoko abanyarbaito abatuikana nabo abarugira mahanga gabo abwa obuzibu batungireyo tukuri kwegondeza abajya bafoka ansuhuki omihanga ya Uganda nabwecha abakuru bano bajya kwamba bazaho nkoko abakuru bano bakurindwa abakuhereze wa mukurungi akana abantu ababurikiro yitabayikaza aba Uganda anambere tukubungise nsuhuki zino neto kusobora kubantu koragana kandi ntwikarana ahamo anabagenzi baitu nabwecha nkirize akaireka dakika butatu buti nyetora mukatoito ajya kwa ningaruka nabagenzi bana ndabamaze kwa baika mu studios akatsobora kubantu batwara mpaka saa emo utarantijana mpira ogwa World Cup kandi abanyana baita bakiro wingi ensuhuki zitwina hano munuka chaka tu kugambira kuri rwa mwanja abanyakuri kuri biribidi abo bona bakiro wingi ngo mu ihanga ya DRC Congo nabwecho bajya kwa bazano muzano gwabo babutora batule hano bajya kwa mbetago businguzi boka abwecho ba BRITOP radio adinyo chema na tero karuro onyikiriza kaire kanu ndeta bagenyi reka kwa temkatito adongo ewe hakuna shida na moja kati ya wendi sitoya katamu wala nenkuyo yota mukono omanyoli wanjaulo tolinga bano wakati bengalye olabika bulungi cyane sibakungayo chocolate yewendo alasifayo kasitode n'umba nterete birungo cy'umukwano ebyo byolina kabite sebyamala kababa byamala kababa akamera karuti ngone ofume mami isasa mukwano ngone ngobesa ya akamera karuti ngone ofume mami ngone tayo niso akamera karuti ngone ofume mami isasa mukwano ngone. Yes, we bari kuba all hakiro cy'abantu kandi nkoko nabankugambire ntabagenye bamazira kubana baka mu studio za kaire kano adogekirize ensobole kuba ningenda kubakingura hengambiso arunde mzindaro babanze batwerangire nibo baha adeni nemirimo yibakora niko barama kutora mu cyaho atsumuro omutwe runde ntanda yekire ekyahate ituraba antuhanuraho so kiriza kaire kano ningenda kuba nintandikira yes hamkono gwange ubwo buryo kono we kuba those days we used to think nti abakazi nti they were behind but now because of affirmative action it seems but turabirono kutoraba so even if we say they come lastly we don't have say jantuirwa now so accept and then tugenda kubantandikira kono yes amukoro anakutangira mu studios kandi werango ramcyaba huliriza muliza ito munonge ndimi tujya kubantu tabura utafayo bayitwitwe na tujya kubantu huliriza ngana kurora entekanize ntwagitwara kuronge nakutangira umgenyi.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, listeners of BRITOP Radio. My name is Agre Kibet. I work with the World Food Program based in Chenjojo, but we support the program here at Shaka Refugee Settlement and also the host community. So thank you so much for joining into the program, and we look forward to a very constructive engagement.
Okay, you are most welcome, Richard. Of course, akande nkokungambire olulimi tujja kuba antuyindura mu mpora baititwe na tujja kuba antulirizangana. So, leka atugarukoko anayo mgenyi nakutangira awerange.
Yes, thank you very much, moderator. My name is Samson Chozura. I also work with the World Food Program as the team leader at Chenjojo Field Office. And good evening to you all listeners.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome, Samson. Next on the mic, yes, that one is also on. Sora kwekonyeza negyo mic tu na enekora omgenya nyakula mzindara na iwerangi.
Asanteni sana, hamjambo, habari ya jioni. Kwa majina Thomas Safari, refugee welfare council Siri Chairperson Chakatu refugee settlement au kiongozi kwa niaba ya wakaaji wa Chakatu settlement. Asanteni sana wasikilizaji wapendwa.
Asanteni Safari, asante kujapo kwa radio BRITOP Echerezi cha watu, tunakusalamia. Mgeni onde na Uswahili ningezao pora.
Yes, good evening, listeners. My name is Lilian Indichibona. I am the project manager at KRC Kabarore Research and Resource Center in Chakatu, and we are implementing a WFP funded project that is a general food assistance and TSFP, targeted supplementary food program.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, you are most welcome, Liliane, and project manager wa KRC. Muliza waito Buronge, abo niba abagenyi abanyakuri mu studios akairiza kahati kandi nkoko wabahura ambagenda kuba andi babazaho muto gutwino gwekire kya hati kandi ikirize akayire kano andi bagenda kuba andi babazaho ebikwatagana nabagenzi bayito aba ensuhuke kandi obutuliyo antorekereza ekiro ekikuru ekyo kujaguza akandi ekikwatagana nebyo kurya arundi nebyendya so nagwecha akaire kano bakwamba ija atukimanyira kuronge nti hanga Uganda lirimo amahanga agarungi muno omunsi yona agakubungisa ensuhuki yes lirimo amahanga amarungi muno mbere abantu bagenda bakahumura akandi bakatunga obwikazi nandiwe banzarwa zihanga erya Uganda nabwecho akaire kano kiraba kirikiti limwe ebintu ebindi ebikwiziramo muno byatalbanizemo aho mukaroraho bwire bwa covid akandi na statements ezinde zaizire government ya America byahindukiramo ine mikore yagira nko kuyahindukiramo eyo kurorera abantu bano bayitayijamo ebintu ebitalimo narimo kukwataniriza hamo itona tukarora nti ensuhuke zino twayikarana nazo kana zayegonza akandi n'abantu abanya-Uganda abakuzikara hayi nabasobora kuba nibagoboramo nabwecha akaire kano nicho kurora abakuru banu okurugamo office ya World Food Program kandi kino kitongole ekya United Nations Organization birimo bitongole ebyayizirinde bigira chata akurugera obulimu obwa kabiri kandi kibero muno akandi bakwatanize na office ya Prime Minister na United Nations High Commission for Refugees then abanywana bayito aba ekitongole ekya Kabarore Research and Resource Center kandi kitongole kitukimanyiro muno akizire nchikwatira muno abantu bayito omu settlement kandi nababulikiro akitukonyera muno nabwecho nkiriza akaire kano abageni bano nko kubali mu studios nibagenda kuba nibatutwara omukichweka ekyo engenda agarukayo ambarich osobole kuba anotuhereza a background ya World Food Program briefly and then we move on.
Okay, thank you very much our listeners once again. We are so happy to host you. This is a program that's brought to you by the World Food Program, and I wanted to start first of all by talking about the work that we do. As you are aware, we support refugees that are here at the Chaka refugee settlement, of course working together with the government of Uganda through the OPM and also the UNHCR and our cooperating partners, and that's why we are very happy that we have a KRC here. But also we work with structures that are in the refugee settlement, and as popularly you know them as Rwasi, and that's why we have Ndugu Safari in the house. So what do we do? I just want to give a quick background.
Please.
Yes, the WFP work is food assistance and nutrition provision to refugees in the refugee settlement. That is our primary mandate. Of course, the other actors have also other parts that they do, but that is what WFP exists to do. Now, all of you know that. Of course, we give food assistance, but as you know, over the years, we no longer just give food in kind or food as it is, but we give it in terms of cash, which is what we call the CBT. And so, that is meant to support people who really are in need of food, and as you will be told later, we have structures, or we have structured our way, our distribution system in a way that it is targeting different categories, but we shall have time to talk about that. However, what I wanted to say is that while we give out food and also support the malnourished through the nutrition program, our strategy goes beyond just giving food. We want to ensure that we can support communities to grow their own food and develop livelihoods which can sustain them, and ensure that they can actually not only depend on food aid or food assistance, but they can also become sustainable on their own. As Mukulu moderator has told you, the funding has reduced over the years, and therefore we must be able to work within the little resources that we have. And that's why we may not give everyone food. We give only category 1 and category 2 at the moment, but category 3 we are not giving. There are reasons for that, because category 1 and 2 are more vulnerable. They are more vulnerable because some of them are disabled, some of them are pregnant, some of them are elderly, and so many. So we have parameters for actually coming up with the category 1 and 2. I know you know that. Category 3, we are not saying that they don't have problems or they are not needy. The only difference is that they are least vulnerable. They are not as vulnerable as category 1 and 2. Now, like I was saying, beyond food, we want to support also nutrition prevention, because we know that food goes along with the nutrition. So you must be able to address the issues of health of the malnourished refugees who come into the settlement and those who are in the settlement. But also we are supporting market systems for those who are producing. They are growing food, they are maybe keeping livestock. We link them to markets because this is important for them to earn income, which can also help them to buy now the food themselves, but also other basic needs that are needed. So this is all part of our response. Very important to note that we are moving towards what we call the self-reliance, which means supporting refugees to support themselves rather than just giving them food and food and food forever. Because it's not even sustainable, we don't have the money.
Just handouts.
Yes, handouts will not help. But we give you that so that it can be a basis for you to be more sustainable by doing other productive activities. So I think that was something that I thought was very important. But also, our listeners, the other thing that we need to also take note of is that when we give cash to refugees to buy food or food assistance, it does not only help the refugees. This money is actually used to buy food from traders of the host community, people who are not refugees. So traders also get money. Markets, the local markets, they go and buy food, so they also get money. They also buy milk. So other people also from Chegegwa here who are not refugees are also benefiting from the refugee program. And I thought that was very important, so that you don't look at us as only supporting refugees, but to know that we are supporting an ecosystem that will also grow the local economy. And this is where now refugees and host communities are important in our program. Yeah, so I wanted to say that, but also say that we work with the partners. We have here Kabarole Research Center who help us with the food distribution work, but also some of this malnutrition and the programs that I'm talking about. So I thought that was critical, but also for markets, we have another partner called Ripple Effect. Those ones are the market people. Once you produce, you have crops, you have this, they support you to ensure that there is a market for those products so that you can earn income. And so this is where refugees and the host community are coexisting and developing together.
Thank you so much, Bwana Agwe, for that insight. Kandi umuliza wito murungi yanagiza kutoleka bike bakora nka World Food Program, kandi bagambira nko kusobora kubanogobora mu nkayiwe omuntu abulikiro odawutahura ngubo nibahereza ibyo kurya hari ensuhuki okagira ngo itogobora mu nangwa kandi kayira kanu ngo bakahinduramo no mulingo go kugabiramo ibyo kurya ensuhuki nibabahereza hati akasente nuko bayigura then bakwe kuhereza ensoke zino akasente kano ogenda kwegura ibyo kurya ngo hati iwe anyakwine kitoke cyawe anyakwine umuhogo agutoyire bukera mukatala agutoyire itamba biniga ngo hata akasente kano ukatanga nayo hati nayo nogaruka nkuzireki ukatungire ketororamo omo nabwo cyo nico kurora ngo bagezaho kurora anti enkora edo bajombeke kusanga ngo iwe mwikazo mu Uganda na mbere nsuhuki zino ziri nayo wagoboramo omunsuhuki ezo kandi nazo za kugoboramo kandi ngo ndabetaga kuombeka nti no baramba hereza akasente nsuhuki zino tikikuja kwikaraho nibetaga babombeke nabasobora kubana beyemereza bonka basobora kubana beretera ibyo kuri ibyo haisahani yabo no mumaka agabo so nikireze akaire kano ninyeja rafiki safari rafiki safari nti akaire kano ntora nti ihanga ya Uganda adiriyo ndigeza kuba andigenda akaire kane bihandike bakusoma ngo omahanga agaganya kuri hagati na hagati yenkura kurana anti akaire kano nti nensuhuki zinu nazo zine mu umurimo gusobora koraho kuro nazo za letereza ihanga ya Uganda kukurakurana rikagenda mu mahanga agakurakurayine aganya kuri hagati yaho girikaruga muri gano agakucubagira.
Asante sana bwana moderator.
Ndio.
Kwa swali yenye unaniuliza, cha kwanza mimi nashukuru serikali ya Uganda au government ya Uganda ambaye inatupokea ndani ya Uganda na vile vile natuwezesha kuishi mu Uganda. Kufuatana na swali ambalo unaniuliza, kwa ukweli na sisi kama unakisikia hapo juu tuko na haki na majukumu. Tuko na haki, tuliwezeshwa na serikali ya Uganda kutupatia haki na uhuru ya kutembea mahali popote ndani mwa Uganda. Wakati tuko tunatumia ile uhuru na haki zetu, na sisi tulipewa dongo, ingalao ni ya kidogo, tulipewa dongo na serikali ya Uganda OPM, na vile vile ile muvoma au kutembea mahali popote kwenye tu ndani ya Uganda, tunazunguluka ndani ya Uganda. Vile vile na sisi tunakuwa tunafanya biashara katikati ya wa national, na vile vile tukifanya biashara tunafanya na ulimaji kwa ile dongo kidogo yenye tulipewa na OPM, na vile vile na nje wa national, nje ya Chakatu settlement tunapanga yo kwa wale wenye wanaweza wanapanga yo dongo. Ile umoja tunayo katikati yetu na wa national, vile vile tunaendesha biashara vyetu, na wakati tuko tunaendesha biashara vyetu tunalipaga polepole na usuru au musolo kwa ulaya wa district ya Chejegwa. Tukifanya vile biashara tunachangia masoko, tuna mali vile vyote vyenye tunalima tunaviweka mu masoko, mahali kwenye tunaujisha tunalipa usuru. Na wale wenye wafanya biashara wenye wako katikati ndani ya Chakatu settlement hapo Mubukere, Byabakora, Sweswe na Tamba Biniga, kwa wale vile biashara ndogo ndogo wenye wanafanya mchango wakitoa usuru. Hiyo yote ni yenye inaleta maendeleo kwa ulaya wa district au district. Maana yake sasa inamaanisha nini? Hatuko mzigo kwa ulaya wa district, au tunachangiana kuinua kimaendeleo ulaya wa district pamoja na nchi ya Uganda. Asanteni sana, hizo ndio majukumu zenye tuko nazo na haki zenye tuko nazo tukipokelewa hapa ndani ya Uganda. Asanteni sana, mimi naamini kwamba
asante sana rafiki wangu akandi muliza wetu munongi abanakoleka nko kwaba ensuhuki nazo nzitekaho muganda okurora ihanga lya Uganda nilitero rutambo bwenkurakurana rikagenda mahanga gari agakabira gali hagati ya kurakurana agatacyari muri gano agabakubarangu gari mukurakurana akanayero kangu nabo cyari no barorano ngo nabo obakutwara ibintu byabo barimira mu Butarenka Itamba Biniga na Sweswe ngo nabo nibateka yo musoro abempoza no basanga yabacegegwa district local government bajohera bukote bwabo ngo revenue nabo nibahayo mbahoza habugari bwabo sora bwecyaro nabo nibambakoraki nibahayo. So ikiriza kare ngaruka ma Samson nawe ayongereo hano, how are the refugees either directly or indirectly are contributing towards the economic growth and development of Uganda as Uganda's economy strives to take a stride into the middle status countries of the world.
Thank you very much, Bwana Moderator, for that. And I just wanted to add on what Bwana Safari, the Rasi, has just mentioned, that as WFP injects cash cash-based transfers into the refugee population. The understanding is that this cash-based transfer is intended to stimulate the local economy within Chegegwa district, and by that, the refugees that receive this assistance actually get into the markets within Chegegwa district to buy food items and related assorted items that would support them to meet their nutrition needs. And when you look at this, this money within the Chegegwa district would always be utilized within the market structures that are put in place. Besides that, you understand that there's a lot that will be happening, especially in terms of production, but also trade, exchange of goods and services within the district. And to add on that, you realize that through the cash-based transfers, we have also several delivery mechanisms such as the Equity Bank, mobile money, Airtel money. And now with these delivery mechanisms, the people that man them, or the agents, some of the agents are actually refugees.
Wow.
Yes, so some of the agents are refugees, and how will these agents support the local economy? Is by contributing to the financial inclusion within the structures of the district, but also paying the small taxes that it necessitates them to clear. So with that, the understanding is that you realize that there's a huge contribution of the refugee population towards the local economy vis-a-vis contributing to the middle income status of the country. And besides that, WFP also goes ahead to support livelihood groups, targeted livelihood groups through its complementary livelihood programs, such as the ripple effect, through the ripple effect organization. And this is targeted specifically to specific groups that would also contribute a small token towards this particular venture. And I realize that once this support comes through a subsidy support, where we could easily extend maybe a machine or a maize meal machine to these groups, you realize that this maize meal machine will really contribute not only to the refugees but also the local community around the district. So with all those different mechanisms and channels, you realize that there's a lot that is happening within the district with not only the refugees but also the host community. Thank you very much, Bwana Moderator.
Okay, thank you so much, Bwana Samson, for that input. Mlizaito mronge yabana yongeraho kandi nakoleka ntabakuru bano obakutunga akasenta akabakuba bahayira aka World Food Program akebyokulya ngo nsurukize ntizukalya burya kuonka ngo nibakwata impapura za sente ronde binusu ngo nibakoraki nibabirya nizija amulito kandi bakoleka ngo nibakora n'ibyo busubuzi abogenda cyaka tu ambere bakora akwishyira isente zino bakuyibasasura obu points nkobwa agent banking anka Equity doka sente agency nguko bana nsuhuki kanazo cyari nzero zo musoro abakwamba kora ihanga kulinda soroza trillions bagambire zira 65 eza budget nabo bamba contributinga zirafa bayino mu mukoro omunkora akurana ihanga na kiro kinu abo mupira akuri bukero baramboleka World Cup mu bibanda bagenda kusasura akano baratunga ko kunya bakanywa juka karo musoro nabo nibamba haje so keza kano angaruke mba agre briefly to tell us right now the preparedness plan we are aware of the shrinking and global and international interventions arising from mainly the American policy that we saw you being forced to turn into that model of changing from the food basket to cash. Is this system, as you get partners from other entities and the government of Uganda and the local communities, is that approach sustainable, or we are heading to somewhere where we shall reach on the way and hands down?
Thank you very much. Let me try some Kiswahili as well, moderator.
Asanteni
sana na asante pia moderator. Watu wetu wasikilizaji wa radio BRITOP kutoka Chaka to resettlement. Nataka sema hivi, mnajua nyinyi mnapokea pokelo ili mupate kununua chakula kutoka kwa soko. Kusema kweli, tunaona hii pokelo sio tu kama inasaidia wakimbizi wapate kununua chakula, lakini tunaona kwamba hii pesa pia inasaidia uchumi ya nationali ama ya Ulaya ya Chaka kwa jumla. Na sisi tunasema kwamba hii ni kitu kizuri kwa sababu mnapata kununua chakula, lakini pia uchumi ya watu wa nationali inapata kuimarika. Sisi tunaona hii kitu ndio inaimarisha nyinyi wote na pia inaimarisha maendeleo. Sasa kusema kweli, nilikuwa nasema kwamba hii mambo ya chakula ni kitu kizuri, lakini zaidi ya hiyo tunaona kwamba ni kuzuri pia watu wasaidiwa, watu ambao wanafanya biashara kadhaa kila mbali wapate soko. Hii soko inamaanisha kila mtu atapata pesa mfukoni. Hiyo pesa mfukoni itaimarisha hiyo boma, na inamaanisha kwamba hiyo boma itapata nafasi ya kununua vitu vingine hata mbele ya kuliko hata chakula, zaidi ya chakula.
Yeah.
Kitu kingine muhimu nataka nikujulishe kwamba kwa sahihi, tukiongea sahihi, ile program ya soko ya kuimarisha soko ya watu ambao walimaji ama wanafuga ng'ombe ama vitu zingine. Sasa tukiongea, World Food Program imesaidia asilimia 70, yati 70% inasaidia wa host community sahi. Ndio inamaanisha hii program sio ya wakimbizi peke yake, ni pia tunasaidia wa host community. Okay. Kwa sahi ni 70% host community ndio wanafaidika. Na ile ingine ni 30% kwa refugees. So unaona kama hii ni program nzuri kwa sababu ni ya kuimarisha sisi wote. Kitu kingine muhimu, tunaona kwamba watu wakipata pesa zaidi kwa sababu ya kilimo na kazi mbalimbali, watakuwa hawategemei sana chakula yenye natoka World Food Program na watu wengine. Watakuwa wanajitegemea mwenyewe, yani self reliance. Hiyo ndio kitu tunataka imarike zaidi. Sana kusema kweli, hii kazi yenye tunafanya hapa refugee settlement ni kazi ya uchumi ya ujumla. Ni kitu ya kuimarisha kila mtu. Wafanya biashara, wanationali na watu wengine wako kwa masoko huko, wote wanafaidika na hii kitu inaendelea kudumu na kuimarisha kila mtu. Na sisi tunaona hii ni kazi yenye lazima iendelee, na ni kazi mzuri, na ni kazi ambao lazima wote tuna support. Sasa nitapatia ndugu yangu Samson baadaye kuongelea mambo kuhusu chakula yenye ilikatwa na vile tumepanga kutumia magroups ile inatoka categorization, ili wale ndio wako wanahangaika zaidi wanapata kwanza chakula. Wengine ambao hawajahangaika sana ambao tunaita category 3 pia wanasaidika, lakini sio kupata chakula ama pokelo. Wanasaidika kuhusu kazi nyingine ya kuimarisha uchumi ya maboma zao.
Okay. Asante sana Agre. Muliza wito Burundi okiriza akaire kana habwa kaire nkoko Samson Agre abanayoleka nkoko abakoramu kandi no kurora nti nabantu ababulikiro bine projects ezokusanga nti okuba kuigabanizamu abantu ababulikiro yito abakubungisa ensuhuki ntugobora gucweka nsanju bali basegaza 30 ana muno bikwatagana ebyobulimi n'obulisa kandi n'okutukwatiraho okurora nti ntubiguza arundi twabitunda. So nabwetyo akaire kanu yabanagamba nti mugenzi we Samson agire kiyagamba habo kubantu hulire nti kaire kanu ngo hariyo okesebwaho ronda okezibwaho hari ekitereke ronda mutemwa ogwa abantu banu ogumbaine mbahereza ikyo nikimanyisaki.
Yes, thank you very much again, Bwana Moderator, on that. And I want just basically to highlight on what the ration cuts actually mean, and what exactly is about this to do with the prioritization and categorization. And with this is because of the reduced donor funding that has really shrinked, and WFP has not been in position to provide full ration towards the refugee population. And when you look at that, instead of us reducing the size of the ration and adjust them depending on a blanket, we've taken a top notch of basically categorizing beneficiaries or refugees in terms of their vulnerability statuses, understanding who is more vulnerable, moderately vulnerable, and those that are less vulnerable. So with that, we started this particular programming right away from the time donor funding went down in around 2020, April 2020, where we had the geographical prioritization, considering the West Nile refugees and then the Southwest refugees. They are not receiving the same ration because of their geographical location. It was programmed that the other one are hit more with sunshine than this one. So these can do more agriculture related to the other one. So that was the phase one. Okay. And then we went to now 2021 categorization prioritization exercise, where we also saw funds reducing to 60%. 60% translating to about 26,000 per person per month. And then it came down to 2021, around November 2021, around Ebola times also, the funds kept on going down because of COVID-19 as well. So that also forced us to basically adjust, but also target those that need this particular assistance the most. And then why was it even happening? It's because of the donor funding that kept on going down. It is not because WFP wanted it to be that way. We would also be appreciative to see that all the beneficiaries of refugees in Chaka settlement are actually receiving 100% ration, but that was not the case because the donations or the donor funding was really getting down. And now, sometimes it is very difficult to understand these changes, especially to the people that are receiving this particular assistance. And we've faced very high challenges along the way, including malnutrition coming in because we are not supporting the required ration as it's supposed to be, and of course because there is not enough funding coming in. So there's a lot of challenges that have come along, but also the targeting. We are also cognizant that maybe the targeting could also be one of the other areas that we wanted to streamline better. And when you look at all that, along the line, we've tried to adjust and streamline all these particular processes, and we've seen some of the beneficiaries that were dropped off to category 3 reinstated back in category 1 and category 2 to start receiving assistance, because we've kept on updating the databases to understand their vulnerability status as of current. So what are some of the recent adjustments that we've made based on the feedback from the refugees? Like I've said, we've also managed to adjust on the ration composition along the way, considering the lean season and also the market pricing of the food commodities within the market areas in Chegegwa district. So on a weekly basis, WFP through KRC, we carry out weekly price monitoring activity, and that particular activity informs us on the status of the current food prices. So it is that information that guides us and informs us on what particular food ration value should we extend to the beneficiary based on the food market prices. So there's a lot that we do in the background that informs a particular ration that a beneficiary or refugee receives. And as I talk currently right now, those that are in category 1 receive a 60%, which translates to now 26,000. That is what they will be receiving moving forward. And those in category 2, which is a 30%, will receive 14,000, which translates to a 30%. So they will be receiving 14,000 moving forward come the next distribution cycle. So we've kept on adjusting basing on one, the season needs. For example, lean season where we don't expect a lot of agriculture and is only sunshine, we understand there's very minimal economic activity happening, so that informs us on whether to increase slightly or not to increase, but this is all based on the current funding situation. And then what is the long-term plan or support? We are also looking at not only having the envelopes, the monthly envelopes, but also adjusting and diversifying to livelihood programs. And that explains why we are seeing organizations like Ripple Effect that are coming in on board basically to execute the mandate of livelihood programs within Chegega district to supplement on the envelopes, the monthly envelopes we extend to the beneficiary, because it is not sustainable to have the monthly envelopes. And then we are also looking at the markets around us. How do we tap into the markets around us, basically to link on these particular targeted groups towards the market so that they can sell their commodities at a better valuable price for this particular case, so that we also boost the economy but also extend our assistance to the refugee amidst the funding situation. Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. Maybe briefly, Brother Samson.
Yes, please.
On these adjustments that you make, don't they disturb your budgets? Are you always ready, or you have supplementary?
Yes, as I'm talking right now, I will not say that we have the supplementary budget there, but we've derived a specific model of reducing operational costs. For example, it explains why we're seeing very minimal staff, very minimal active operational programs happening, particularly on maybe the number of vehicles, the number of staff. So we've reduced operational costs, basically to save more money, to tap into assisting the beneficiary as a monthly ration instead of having more operational cost vis-a-vis the value that we extend to the beneficiary. So we are not saying that we receive more money, but basically we are working within the money that we have currently to see that we extend, or we add some little token onto the monthly ration beneficiary is receiving based on the market. The market prices of the food commodities, and that is why you don't see an increment of 10,000, but you're seeing a 2,000, because it is small, but it is something that we've squeezed through to see that at least we add in so that it takes them through this particular season as we wait for more funding to come in at a later time. So we are also advocating that, of course, the donor community supports in that regard because of the situation that is at hand. And we are very confident that at one point in time, something may turn up better so that we really add on to the ration. So we're looking forward to working closely with the Office of the Prime Minister, the Office of the UNHCR and the RACI team to see that the beneficiaries or the refugees really understand the situation at hand, and then we work as a team to support each other.
Okay.
Yes,
okay,
thank you
so much Bwana Samson. Samson yabanageza kutoleka ankoku abageza kuba bakahindura mbuyire bono ekitereke kiba kutonga nkoku kwijanje kehezibwaho rundi ncyongezebwaho akusigikira ebikwate bibaine akana agamba nti nkabo World Food Program bageza ku bagenda mbutale emihendo bwe kubane yongera kuno nti eratiri ya akahungera hazinga bagyongera mu 10 ngo nabagira nko kubakunyiga mukuli abarora nko kubabongeraho enkota yekitoke kayekano irazinga obagira ngo bukere ira sente ziti bamigamiga mu mpora kandi mbagambira ngo nabantu babo nko kubabatayire mu bikonjonjo ebikundanengana bisato bagambire idara yo kubanza idara ya kabiri abo ne bakurura ngo bano bari ko kubira hakarebolebo bahande bolebo bari ko kubibo banu mbabapima mbabarora bayinengera bakubapima bakabarora hata bakwijya bakaranka nyoche mani barorita mariri kuri magambo nche mani takabayire ebirunka bisata asa kubiyama no baratalire nabaho ikirozire hata bakura kuranka liliane bagaririya none anazoka inenko kwalimu asa kubari mu babiri kiraryomo asato gumba mbanza yo so nike cyabana bazaho ngo bagereza bayitikayerekana ngo kategori kubanza andi bagihereza ubucweka nkaga buri 10 akandi sentezi bari mbabahereza anzinganingana za Uganda mitwaro 2 nakakaga kandi abanyakuri mu kategori ya kabiri abo nabo babanyigenyigira mu mpora babateka mutwaro gumo ne 10 ngo kandi bariyo nabo abanyakuri mu kategori 3 nkayitwe nyacha bogumisiriza bakarorita mari yacheka ndakwihaye mbakuteka mu kategori 2 urundi mu kategori 1 so nabacho nyikiriza kano akaliye katwara udakika nimbona ambutuhuba akande twasigaza dakika zaite 15 nyikirize kandi harimo nezanye twantubaza nayenye bayitu katoitaho onyikirize muri bintu byone bikorwa obwomezi kikuru muno nukiraba nti no bwarabe byokurya nibikoro obwomezi bayita mananu guide kaliyo biwaire bikwija nebyo kuri World Food no baratereke no bakuba batayire mu enkoko amananu gali bakagira tahadi bokuborwayire ninka kurya togikwataho tugikwataho enkoko nitukafuwe n'ogati nkulya so nabwekyo akaire kano nyetaga kuba anindaliza Lilian wa KRC omuli bino byona n'emikore eya World Food Program na office ya Prime Minister na intervention zona abakozi babazaho ezokuhereza ebyokulya then n'emirimu ibakora mu butale nkaha oko babahira akasente bagenda bagula ebyokulya mu butale nti kaire kano tumanyiri ihanga lya Uganda likarangirirwamu na muno ekirwaire ekya Ebola eyabundi bujo kandi atukubaliza kaire kana less others think tenarora kaire kana bayitu statistics bayire zero tubayitu yine abarwaire abakwasirwe 14 kandi n'abafire bali babiri kandi cases zikubwingi zikarugira aho yihanga muno mu district agayituri okombere yakongera nensuke twine mutayiraho bulinziki rundi kwegesebwa kuta kurora abantu bandi batakwesoroza muno bakubamba tabara ebyo kulya bya binu in form of center rundi kugenda mu butare kugura ebyo kulya kurora oburwaire buno twabufusha omubikaro obyayito nisaba otandikiraho otwoleke interventions ezinyakuro
webale muno bwana moderator. I would like to say that as a WFP and KRC, we shall not stop our intervention because of the Ebola outbreak. This is because our implementations are basically life-saving. So as a result, especially at our final distribution points or the FDPs, we shall ensure that all gets at every distribution point have been we shall set up mandatory Ministry of Health approved infection and prevention controls protocols, and in this we shall have basically a temperature screening of every individual who will be accessing the final distribution points, mandatory hand washing, and this one we shall top it up with soap, and then there's going to be strict social distancing, and all these are going to be non-negotiable, and this is going to be an effort for us to ensure that each and every person who accesses the point is safeguarded from Ebola, and this is going to be a collective effort for all partners and everybody who will be at the final distribution point, and everybody must adhere to this. Anybody who does not adhere to this will not be given access to the FDP. And also in that effect, I would just like to highlight that as we are discussing all this food distribution and all, we are planning to have our next distribution commencing on July 13th in Chakatu settlement for all eligible beneficiaries, and this shall be at the 3 FDPs of Sweswe, Biabakora and Itamba Biniga, where Sweswe and Biabakora will be running on 13th and 14th concurrently, and Itamba Biniga will be running on 15th and 16th concurrently. That means we shall be having 4 distribution days for our next distribution. And of course, our distributions will be starting at 8:30 a.m. and ending at 3:30 p.m. at all FDPs. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Lilian. But before you leave the microphone, we are aware human beings are not easy, and that you are handling a very big number of population. And of course, as you know, when it comes to getting these rations, when it comes to rationing, you know, first come, first served. Probably as you are deepening into the pocket, you check on the chew how many are remaining, so that you relax. So people are congesting themselves. That now you are saying that you'll be having such interventions in terms of Ministry of Health standard operating procedures, especially the temperature guns, screening them. I wonder how you would do so such a big number, screening everyone. How are you prepared extremely to see to it that you are sure those people coming follow the tokens that they will be prevented from the spread of Ebola?
Yes, thank you, moderator. I would just like to say that WFP has made this possible. They have issued us with temperature guns. Wow. We already have temperature guns with us. The KRC.
So you have them in the Pururu.
We have temperature guns. We shall be having 2 guns at the FDPs. to check the temperatures of each and every beneficiary that will be accessing the FDP. And to answer your question in regard to the big numbers that we are targeting, we have scheduled them. We have scheduled them, as I earlier mentioned. Each FDP will be running for 2 days. FDP as in food distribution point. So we have scheduled these numbers according to their villages and their zones and villages to manageable numbers that we can handle in a given time. Meaning that at a given time we shall have about 200 households at a point, and this shall be able to observe social distancing with the help of the KRC staff. The community structures that we use. Community structures are basically from the refugee community. From the refugee community, we work hand in hand with the refugee community, the refugee leadership, the RWC, of course, with the overall oversight from WFP and support from protection partners, UNHCR, and OPM. So all these health protocols from Ministry of Health are going to, as combine. Once we combine our efforts, we shall be able to ensure that all these health protocols are observed to ensure that everybody is safeguarded.
Okay. Thank you so much. Omulizayito Burunge enicho bagambira ntibitekanize nenya bagenda ombutale obwasweswe itamba biniga byabakora okurora muguza abantu bano ebyokulya ntebyokwerinda habo bulware bwa Ebola babinire omubazi ekande n'obutabo kwani mugenda nosanga amaizi galiyo kunaba mu ngaro ukiruzire empora utatina okutwara yecyamaguzi cyaho kando ijuke atwinitwe na kwatira hamo kurora inti enkorakurana yihanga ya Uganda no barambenda kutera urutambu okugenda middle status income arusobora kubandikira omulizayito mulungi akaire kano onyekirize nsobora kuba aninteka studio lines hali iwe anyakwine cyo kwetaga kuba no tuteranizaho anoitaga kwa magezi kwa arundi kukaguzaho urundi no bucyakuba cyona ecyo kwetaga kwa nabazaba kurbane babazaho ebikwatagana anemigabire eyebyokurya kandi no kugoboramo kunyakuroho anka host communities orabe 075 ananaina kaganaina ana na 2 na 078 nsanje na 2 bakubyabire ana na 8 then abakusindika obukwenda ugufu sindika 0 ina mukaga nkaganaina nsanje na 3 then abanyakula YouTube teka mu kigambo BRITOP na iwe ninja kutongo kwenda bwa BRITOP radio. Hello tata
amabara n'abanyatacha Umaru kubanisa.
Yes, Umaru Isanga
Yali mazima na itwa abatoro ntibasima munezi kubukezo bantu bayindumana kanire prosese maju kijandongo abanyakubale hajya abatoro bagoboro iremu muno sanga bakasenda bagena bayo soya abwabusa
otyo
ata kaita nebitebe bya adu kuruga biribuke mure osanga bikire kumbanka abanyakwiganire kazamayira mati
kale webalo bwa kaiso. Okay. Kale hello tata. Oh, sorry. Hello tata.
Mukita sebe kafe mange BRITOP.
Otyo
wale muno kutekaniza fikira nsokeze zile corona batangira
otyo
sasa na tampeta mojo na bani tubona ikare watangira kabantu
kale. Okay. Hello
wati bana bakubogaruru
wanjisabo
Onezigene dokse forongo turekete kanza na bingora.
Yesabo saronge na bingola.
Oba nsiyaza sengo yatumye de mu rufuti abalatulira mu.
Yesabo.
Nenda de ko mbende nga tutuye dali yani. Nyenye na msibasi yao.
Yesabo.
Ba fande nyine naple bakwatagala mu ngaro. Ngenza Ebola se bakwata.
Abafande bayizo kubanga etie mundu.
Benyine. Ebola se bakwata.
Why?
abantu abatali bafande ono Dr. Swarongo
kale wakatanza oluzaito bulungu nikirize eti nkoga kwa taibasimo budakika bonto ine sigaize butano aleka abakuru bano babwekonyeze okwanukura dene no kuhereza obukwenda obukumalirayo. I think more calls twatunga any question to respond to, maybe some compliment about the testimonies that the neighboring people are saying. This one the caller from Maju, Maira, Abulingo, Bulit, that side, they are testifying that it is true. The host communities are benefiting from the packages that you are giving. Maybe just a compliment if it is there. You see, when somebody makes a call and they don't respond, probably sometimes by saying thank you. So I'll say something on the then we start with our final remarks.
Okay, thank you very much, caller, and thank you for acknowledging that indeed we are not only doing food assistance to refugees, but also that we are strengthening the local markets and also benefiting the host communities. And this is something that we want to continue doing, and we hope that we can support all of you, refugees and national communities, to prosper and grow and have stronger communities. So thank you very much for calling in and for acknowledging.
Okay, thank you so much, and I think muliza waito bulungi okiriza akarikana abakuru bano atsole kuba antu bumba ninja kutandika na rafiki Rwasi ibigambo byabyo kumalirayo usalamie wasikilizaji wapendwaji.
Asante sana bwana moderator. Mbele ya yote nikubali nishukuru mashirika ambaye anatuhudumia, na tubijini wizi kwanza nianze na PAMU pamoja na KRC ambaye walituwezesha kukua hapa kwenye BRITOP. Cha pili, sisi kama wakimbizi ndani ya Chakatu Settlement tunajiraganisha kuendelea tuko tunashiriki na mashirika zenye zinatuhudumia kimsaada. Namna gani? Ni kwamba msaada yote yenye tutakuwa tunapokea tutakuwa tumia vizuri ili tujiwezeshe kujitegemea sustainability plans za engine. Nikubali nishukuru OPM zaidi pamoja na UNHCR ambaye nao wanaendelea bako wanatuchunga kwa msaada ya usalama na kutafutisha msaada zenye zinaweza kutuwezesha mahali hapo juu. Lisikia na PAMU hii kanajiraganisha kufanya na uwezekanavyo kutafuta misaada hailale. Vile so mimi nawashukuru bila kusahau wa viongozi wenzangu ndani ya Chakatu Settlement pamoja na wakaji wote kwa jumla. Asanteni sana kuendelea tuko tunashikamana mkono kukimaendeleo kujitafuta katikati yetu ndani ya Chakatu Settlement pamoja na wakaji wa national yetu tunaishi pamoja nao. Asanteni sana kutusikiliza.
Asante sana ndugu yangu Thomas. Yes, omuzayito mulungu ikiriza akerekano ebigambe bike kurugamba agre na wabumba bumbe presentation yaito the last remarks, and then you also bid farewell to the listener.
Okay, asanteni sana wasikilizaji wote wa hii radio. Naona kwamba tumepata kupokea maneno mazuri kuhusu kazi yenye tunafanya. Nataka kabisa kuiunga bwana Safari, kushukuru serikali ya Uganda kupitia shirika la OPM, na pia usaidizi kutoka warafiki wetu kutoka huko ng'ambo Ulaya ambao wanatupea hiyo pesa inatusaidia. Tunajua ya kwamba hii pesa sio mingi, hatuwezi kufikisha hii pesa kwa kila mtu. Ndio vile tumepanga wale ambao wako na wanahangaika ama wako na mashida makubwa zaidi, ndio tumechagua wapate hii pesa kama pokelo. Lakini pia category 3 bado hatujasahau. Tunasema nyinyi pia tuko muko rada, tunasaidia nyinyi kupitia maprogram zingine ambacho tumetaja kama ile ya AMS kutoka Ripple Effect, pia nutrition support kupitia shirika la KRC, na maprograms mengine ambazo tumetaja. Sasa mimi nataka kusema kwamba wale wengine wote ambao wajatumia hii wakati kufaidika, jameni, jiunga nasi, jiunga na shirika ya WFP, KRC na wengine, pia nyinyi mufaidike katika hii program, hasa kupitia kutumia hii program ya soko, mupate kuuza bidhaa yenyu na kupata pesa mfukoni na kununua chakula na bidhaa zingine, na pia uimarishe uchumi ya Ulaya hii na pia ya maboma zenyu. Nasema asanteni sana kwa kutusikiliza. Asanteni kwa hata wale wamepiga simu hapa studio, tunakushukuru sana. Program ya pokelo yenye wamekusomea hapo Lilian, jaribu kumobilize hao wote wakuje ili wapokee hiyo pokelo, na wale wengine ma programs ya Ripple Effect na KRC pia mjiungana nao ili mufaidike zaidi. Asante sana na Mungu awabariki.
Asante sana Agre kandi mulizo wito munongo ikirize na abagenzi bayito Samson word or two. You also say bye bye to the listener, then Lilian Nisal conclude.
Thank you very much, Bwana Moderator, for this opportunity once again, for the time that you've accorded to us this evening. And for our listeners, we want to appreciate your listening time, and we are looking forward to working together as WFP. We pledge and commit that we shall continue extending our assistance to those that need it most, particularly the refugee, but also the targeted host community. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Lilian.
Thank you very much, Moderator. From me, it is just to thank you, our listeners, for tuning in and listening to us. And I would like to encourage us to majorly adhere to the Ebola SOPs and ensure that we safeguard each other, as it all starts with us. Let us be safe and let us keep everyone safe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Mrizaito Burunge, ntekanza ito noto adigarukiza hano akanwe wale muno Liliane project manager KRC, wale muno Rafiki Safari Ruasi, kandi wale muno Samson World Food Program and Agre mwebale producer webale kandi ompira guliyo negwija gwa DRC hamo na Bungereza. DRC esobole kuba detasi ya Bungereza anaye hondere bagenzi bayo abanyakurugire mu Central Europe.